All right, so we got a lot of requests to deep dive into this YouTube clip from Homeschool Phase channel.
Yeah, a lot of people sent this one in.
And it is wild.
Oh, it's messy.
It's really messy. It's like a public confrontation, infidelity, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're talking live podcast event, relationship drama, the works.
Okay, so for those who haven't seen it yet, can you set the scene for us? What is going on in this clip?
All right, so we are at a live recording of a podcast called Tonight's Conversation.
Okay.
And on stage, we have the hosts. And then in the audience, there's Miss Moody.
Okay.
Her estranged husband and his new girlfriend.
Ooh, sounds complicated.
And Miss Moody kind of steps up to the mic.
Okay.
And starts telling her story.
All right, so what's her story? What's she saying?
Well, she and her husband have been together since she was 16.
Oh, wow.
Married for 5 years, but he, recently left her.
Ouch.
And she just saw him at this event with his new girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine?
No, I would die. If I saw my ex with someone new at a live podcast recording.
Oh, absolutely.
I would just melt into the floor.
Yeah, it's like adding insult to injury.
It really is. So what happens? Does she confront him right there on the spot?
Well, she starts by giving the host some background, like how long they've been separated.
Okay.
6 to 8 months.
Okay.
They have 2 kids together.
Oh, geez.
And then here's where it gets interesting.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
She says that her husband's new girlfriend isn't exactly new.
Oh.
She's saying that he's been with this other woman.
What?
Who maybe some would call the side chick for years while denying it the whole time.
Hold up. So this isn't a rebound fling.
Right.
This is a full-blown affair that has been going on for years.
Behind Miss Moody's back.
Oh, my gosh. You have to wonder what that does to a person's sense of, trust and reality.
Right. If someone's willing to live a double life for years, what does that say about their emotional needs and how they view commitment?
How do you even juggle that for so long? The logistics alone seem mind-boggling.
It's like a spy movie or something.
Seriously.
But what's even more interesting is the audience's reaction.
Oh, yeah. What are they doing?
There are gasps, murmurs.
Okay.
Some people are even laughing.
Oh, wow.
It's like everyone is instantly invested in this very personal drama.
I mean, I would be too. So are they on her side?
Oh, totally. You can hear the anger and disgust towards the husband.
I bet. It's one thing to date someone new after a separation, but to parade the other woman around.
I know.
Before the divorce is even final.
It's a whole other level of insensitive.
It really is.
And so the hosts actually ask the audience straight up, do you condone dating while separated?
Ooh, good question.
And the response.
I bet it was a resounding no.
Resounding no.
Yeah.
Yeah, people felt that it was just disrespectful to both the separated spouse and any new partner involved.
Yeah, I can see that. Even if you're technically separated, there's still so much emotional baggage and unfinished business to sort through.
Right.
And jumping into a new relationship before dealing with all of that just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, you have to remember, the new partner might not even have the full picture.
Yeah.
They're seeing this separated person at their best.
Right.
Without knowing all the complexities and challenges of the previous relationship.
It's like the honeymoon phase on steroids.
Totally.
All exciting and new, but built on a foundation that's shaky at best.
Exactly. And this is something for you to consider too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a situation where you were attracted to someone who was separated but not fully divorced?
Ooh, that's a good question.
How did you handle it?
Yeah, how would you handle that? Let us know.
Yeah, but going back to Miss Moody, how does she handle seeing them together at this event?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, so she's clearly upset,
uncomfortable.
And the hosts, they pick up on that right away.
Okay.
And they offer her a refund.
Okay.
And a chance to talk more after the show.
Okay.
Just acknowledging how sensitive this situation is.
Yeah, that was really classy of them to do that.
It was.
It would be so easy to just get caught up in the drama.
Right.
But they showed real empathy for what she was going through.
They did.
Yeah.
And then they shifted gears to another fascinating aspect of this story.
Okay.
This whole side chick versus main chick dynamic.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
The audience got really fired up about whether a side chick can ever transition into the main role.
It's like that age-old question. Can you really trust someone who is willing to be the other woman or the other man?
It's more than just trust, though.
Okay.
This whole debate taps into deeper societal assumptions about relationships
Okay.
and the roles that we expect men and women to play.
Yeah, like the idea that once you're labeled the side chick, you're kind of stuck in that category.
Right.
No matter how much the relationship might evolve later on.
Exactly. And one of the hosts, Katie, had a really interesting take on this.
Okay, what did she say?
She argued that men decide early on what role a woman will play in their life. If you start as the side chick, you're likely to stay in that lane.
Interesting.
Implying that there's just like a lack of trust and commitment from the man.
That's a pretty bold statement to make.
It is.
Especially in a public forum like that.
It is, and it makes you think, is this just about societal expectations?
Yeah.
Or is there something about male behavior that makes men more likely to compartmentalize their relationships this way?
That's a great question. I mean, it's a complex issue, and I think it's important to hear different perspectives.
Right.
But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's circle back to Miss Moody's husband. How does H react to all of this?
So he's sitting right there.
No.
In the audience.
He is.
With his new girlfriend.
What?
Seemingly unfazed by his wife's distress.
You've got to be kidding me. He is just sitting there. That is so insensitive.
Yeah, and the hosts call him out on it too.
Good.
They're like, this is disrespectful, this is insensitive.
Yeah.
And suggest that he's deliberately trying to punish Miss Moody.
I mean, come on. Even if you don't care about your ex's feelings,
Right.
wouldn't you have a little compassion for the mother of your children?
Absolutely.
It's like, that's just...
And they point out that, like, he's hurting Miss Moody, hindering her healing process,
Yeah.
and ultimately damaging their ability to, like, co-parent effectively.
Right. It's not just about them anymore.
Right.
There are kids involved.
Exactly. And, like, this public display of disregard
Yeah.
could have lasting consequences for their whole family dynamic.
It makes you wonder if he even thought about that. Like the long-term impact of his actions. Not just
Yeah.
on his kids, but on his own reputation, too.
That's a good point. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, people don't think about the wider ripple effects of their choices.
Yeah, this whole situation is like a cautionary tale.
It really is.
So speaking of cautionary tales, this leads to another interesting discussion.
Yeah.
The psychology of infidelity.
Okay.
One of the hosts, Katie, offers her insights into why people cheat.
Right.
Spill the tea, Katie. Like, why would someone risk it all and betray their partner?
So she explains that it often comes down to a lack of fulfillment,
Okay.
like a void that someone seeks to fill outside of the marriage.
Interesting.
She's not saying it's the betrayed partner's fault,
Okay.
but that you need to understand the emotional needs
Right.
that are driving the unfaithful partner's actions.
That makes sense. It's like they're looking for something they feel is missing, but instead of addressing it within their relationship, they seek it elsewhere.
Exactly.
Makes you wonder if it's always a conscious choice or if it's more like a subconscious drive.
Well, Katie also talks about this idea of seeking validation solely from one's partner,
Okay.
highlighting the dangers of, like, putting all your emotional eggs in one basket.
So you're saying even if you're in a committed relationship, it's important to have other sources of support and fulfillment.
Yeah.
Like friends, family, hobbies, things like that.
Absolutely. It's about having a balanced sense of self,
Right.
not relying solely on your partner for all your happiness and validation.
Because let's face it, no one person can be everything to another person.
Exactly.
No matter how much you love them.
Right. And here's where Katie delivers this really powerful message to Miss Moody.
Okay.
She says her husband's betrayal is a reflection of his choices, not her worth.
That's so important for her to hear.
It is.
And honestly, for anyone who's ever been cheated on, it's so easy to internalize that pain and blame yourself.
Right.
But ultimately, you can't control someone else's actions.
Exactly. You can only control your own.
And your reactions to their actions.
Yeah. It's about recognizing that your self-worth shouldn't be defined by someone else's behavior,
Right.
especially when that behavior is hurtful and disrespectful.
So how does Katie suggest Miss Moody move forward from this?
So she emphasizes the importance of self-validation and emotional regulation
Okay.
in the face of betrayal,
Okay.
acknowledging, like, the pain and confusion she's going through,
Yeah.
but encouraging her to see this as an opportunity for growth and healing.
It's like she's giving her permission to feel all the feels.
Yes.
The anger, the sadness, the confusion, without judging herself for it.
Right. And she even suggests that this very public confrontation could be a form of exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Okay, for those of us who aren't therapists, can you break that down a bit?
Okay, so in simple terms, exposure therapy means gradually confronting things that cause you anxiety.
Got it.
So in this case, this public encounter, as difficult as it is,
Yeah.
could actually help her process the pain
Okay.
and become more resilient in the long run.
So by facing this situation head on, she's essentially taking away its power to control her emotions.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
It is. And it's a reminder that sometimes the things that scare us the most can also be the biggest opportunities for growth.
I like that.
And that Katie kind of turns her attention to the husband.
Okay.
And calls him out directly for his insensitivity and lack of respect.
Ooh, she went there.
She did.
On the record.
It was a bold move, especially considering the public setting.
Yeah.
But I think it needed to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had to hold him accountable for his actions.
Absolutely.
Not just for Miss Moody's sake, but for like anyone who's been betrayed by a partner.
I have to admit, I'm kind of living for this public shaming.
Right.
But on a more serious note, it does highlight the emotional consequences of infidelity.
It does.
And how it can impact everyone involved.
Right. And this leads to another interesting discussion.
Okay.
About the definition and purpose of separation.
Okay.
So an audience member asks if dating while separated is ever acceptable.
Ooh, good question.
And the hosts offer their perspectives.
That's a tricky one. There's no easy answer, is there?
There isn't.
Yeah.
So one of the hosts, Keith, suggests that it depends on the type of separation. And what it means for each individual. So he argues that if a couple has been miserable, has discussed divorce, and is nearing the end of their relationship, then dating while separated might not necessarily be considered cheating.
So context matters.
It does. But it's important to note that both the other host and the audience kind of push back on this.
Yeah, I bet.
They point out the potential for hurt and betrayal.
Of course.
Even if a separation is in progress.
Yeah, it seems like there's still a lot of room for misinterpretation and hurt feelings.
Right.
Even if you think you're being upfront and honest.
Exactly. And Katie brings up this really crucial point.
What's that?
The new partner in this scenario might not be getting a full picture of the situation.
Right. They're only seeing the separated version of their partner.
Right.
Not the one who was part of this dysfunctional relationship.
Exactly.
It's the classic honeymoon phase dynamic, but with the added layer of a previous commitment that hasn't been fully resolved.
Right. And that brings us to this rather cynical, but perhaps realistic take on the situation.
Okay.
Katie suggests that the odds are this new relationship won't last, especially after the initial excitement wears off.
Interesting. So she's implying that the separated partner might be seeking an escape from their previous relationship rather than genuinely connecting with someone new?
Yeah.
So it's more about running away from something than running towards something.
Exactly.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. And it's something for you to think about, too. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were trying to escape something else?
Ooh.
How did that play out?
That's something to ponder, for sure. But getting back to the clip, how does it end?
So it ends with the hosts engaging with the audience.
Okay.
Answering questions, offering their perspectives on love relationships.
Right.
And, the complexities of navigating separations and infidelity.
It's a whirlwind of emotions, opinions.
It is.
And real-life drama, all captured in this raw and unscripted YouTube clip.
Right.
And it raises a lot of questions that we can ponder further.
Absolutely. Yeah, like what are the ethical considerations of dating while separated? How do we define infidelity in the context of these evolving relationships?
Yeah, and how do we navigate the emotional fallout of betrayal and find a path towards healing and self-worth?
Big questions.
Huge questions. And, it's easy to judge from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
But this deep dive has really made me think about the nuances of infidelity.
Right.
And how there's often more to the story than meets the eye.
Absolutely. There are multiple perspectives at play here.
Yeah.
And, while we heard these strong opinions from the hosts and the audience, it's important to consider the individual circumstances and experiences of everyone involved.
We're only getting a snapshot of this complex situation.
Yeah.
Right? There are layers of backstory, unspoken emotions, individual struggles that we're not privy to.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a valuable reminder for all of us. When we encounter these viral moments, it's easy to get caught up in the drama and the commentary.
Oh, for sure.
But it's important to step back and remember that human element at the heart of these stories.
It's like that saying, everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about.
Right.
So before we jump to conclusions or pass judgment, it's worth considering the bigger picture.
Absolutely.
So what resonated most with you during this deep dive?
Yeah. Do you agree with the host's perspectives?
How would you have navigated this situation if you were in Miss Moody's shoes?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Or maybe you've had a similar experience in your own life.
Right.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights.
Absolutely.
Remember, this is a safe space to share and learn from each other.
And if you have a source YUD you'd like us to take a deep dive into,
yes, please.
Send it our way.
We are always looking for new material.
Until next time, happy learning.